It is 6:02 and we do have a quorum, so I will open the meeting. And ask for any amendments to the meeting minutes. I hear a motion to approve the agenda.
So
Pardon me,
move
the agenda, not the minutes.
to approve the minutes.
How about the agenda?
I is that where we're at, the
Yeah.
agenda? Okay.
I'll do that first.
I will approve the agenda, move to approve the agenda.
Anybody second?
Second,
Thank you. Those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Hi, sorry.
Goodness, that frightened me.
Michelle, are you there? Okay, now for the minutes of the February 16th Design Review Board meeting. For a motion to approve the minutes
So moved.
and a second.
second,
Thank you. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Anybody opposed? Jen, are you hearing us?
yep,
Okay, good. All right, so. This is a quasi judicial hearing regarding public hearing and consideration of DRB 2302 Ben Cox application for placement of a vehicle gate at Colvana Park beach parking area. Does anyone object to the jurisdiction of the Design Review Board to hear this matter?
I do.
Okay. Make your objection.
My objection is having to do with the Cannon Beach Municipal Code, Title 17 zoning, Chapter 17.32 Park Management Zone, 17.32.040 Standards. B, construction, operation, and maintenance of the state parks and wayside are under the authority of the State Parks and Recreation Department. C, normal operation, maintenance, or replacement within a state parks and wayside shall not fall under the standards of the city. I am wondering why this has come before the Design Review Board as full review.
So probably the reason why is with applications like this, we don't even consider the zoning criteria because this is simply a design review site plan modification only. So it doesn't trigger us going through a zoning review. If you feel that this is not something that would be necessary for the design review to review, then that would just simply, I believe, make a motion that this is not necessary for the design review board to review. And then if the design review board believes that it's not necessary to have this application before them, then we can, like I said, make that motion, go through it, and then Mr. Cox can go forward with his plans under the park management zoning.
Would he receive a refund of the application fee if we find that it really falls under the park management standard zone chapter?
We'd have to have a discussion about that, but I don't see any reason why that couldn't be on the table.
Committee members, any comments? Feedback?
I actually agree with Anita after I'd read her email. I feel like we aren't in the jurisdiction of this. I don't really understand why it came to us, but I make a lot of mistakes, so I don't know.
Anita, are you able to just explain so I understand better what your perspective is, why it's not within our jurisdiction? Sorry, I just want to make sure I understand correctly.
Well, I sent an email to council on March 22nd asking for some feedback and clarification of what I was understanding this chapter standards to mean. And my understanding, I came away with the state parks owned by the State Parks and Recreation Department, Tolovana Wayside, is not under the jurisdiction of the city, nor should it be under the jurisdiction of the Design Review Board to approve, deny, or any conditions what they want to do.
Correct. So Talavana is a part of is not a part of Cannon Beach jurisdiction.
Correct. It says in our packet that it is owned
Correct.
by the State Parks and Recreation Department.
Yeah, that is correct. I remember that a while ago as well. Okay. Yeah, I'm actually, that makes a lot of sense.
And I apologize again for having Mr. Cox for the third time now come before the Design Review Board and try to resolve this matter, but I'm hoping that at this point we can do that.
Okay, so how do we proceed with this then? Do we have a motion to dismiss our jurisdiction?
Yeah. Basically, I think that would be the way to do it.
Well, I would make a motion that we dismiss our jurisdiction and fully refund the fee that was paid for the full review of the application. As according to chapter 17.32.040 standards B and C.
Okay. Everybody
I
likes-
second that.
Any further discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Done.
All right.
Take 2 cookies.
So if I might, I am not great at parliamentary procedure, but I would address the board just briefly if I could.
Yeah, that's fine.
Please.
Just wanted to say that it's not really been an imposition. We're pretty well vested in being good partners in our communities that we serve and with whom we have partnerships. Our partnership with City of Cannon Beach has grown over time, and in these last few years, it seems like it's gotten much stronger. So anytime we can be good neighbors, consult the folks in the neighborhoods and get a temperature, get a feel for what people are thinking, we try to do that. So I appreciate the gesture of goodwill, but really it's not a waste of time for us to try to make sure that we're doing things the right way. And I'm available, to answer questions both on this and any other topic that may intersect state parks and the City of Cannon Beach. So thank you for your time.
Yeah. And I guess I just want to reiterate that when Bo Ensign was here, that he stated that the gate would not be locked nightly, that it was merely a way to kind of control traffic should an emergency of some sort occur.
Yes, the intent of the gate is just that. As you know, we had a little bit of a shutdown happen early in the pandemic, and we were scrambling to put concrete blocks in places and wooden barricades that people were knocking over. There are times if there's some sort of a high surf event or some other reason that we would need to lock traffic out of there, and having that gate present would be beneficial. You may remember last summer, we had a bit of a campground going on at Tolovana. It had to do with some rules interpretation and the way that park was used under rest area rules. We've changed operation of that park now, and it's being operated as a traditional Oregon State Park day use. Originally, when I approached the subject of putting in a gate there, I did intend to because we were having so many difficulties there. Now that we've changed our operations, posted different signage and have a partnership with Cannon Beach Police Department, that has all but gone away. And so we don't feel like we need to try to lock that gate in the evening.
Would Cannon Beach Police also have authority and ability to lock and unlock that gate should the need arise?
I don't think it's specifically addressed in the interagency agreement that was recently signed. However, I think there are some broad interpretations that could be applied. I haven't talked to Chief to see if that's anything that he would be interested in. Frankly, that was my struggle as I was considering the gate. I started looking around for security companies, somebody that might do that. I didn't want to impose upon Cannon Beach PD. I was not successful. So that was part of it too. I'm so glad that we just changed the operation there and sort of removed the rest area designation, which removed the ability for somebody to stay in place for 12 consecutive hours, which was how people were kind of turning that into van life, bro, you know? So, and so now we can operate operate the park in an open status dawn to dusk.
Okay.
And then close it after dusk, even though we're not physically locking a gate.
All right.
Okay, well, from my perspective, although I don't really see a good reason to put a gate there, given the open perimeter all the way around. I guess I wouldn't have any reason to deny your request,
Yeah.
assuming we still had jurisdiction.
And that's a very good question to address that. If the gate's in a closed position and a vehicle is in the park, so the gate will be locked open. So only somebody with a key can actually shut the gate, that or physically cut the lock. So we wouldn't typically lock the gate in the closed position with vehicles remaining in the park. So if the gate's locked and somebody's there, then they've driven across a median. And that's a whole different story. It elevates the enforcement action and thereby elevates the bail schedule, so to speak. So it does act, I feel like it would act as a deterrent.
Right. And there are no plans to put a gate perimeter around the park,
A perimeter fence.
right? Fence, right?
In fact, I'd heard some comment about that, and I feel like that would remove sort of the neighborhood park flavor, even though it is a wayside and there's a lot of folks that come from out of town. I do recognize that there are a lot of neighbors that use the park and that come in and out of there. Putting a perimeter fence around there would, I don't think, fit with the character of the community, and that's not something we would propose.
Thank you so much.
Okay. So there's no orders to sign. Anything good of the order?
Well, I guess to the second part of my email to the mayor and city council would be about the sign permits and just.
Yes, and so I'm preparing to put together a work session item for that, for the April agenda. Because we're working under a previously published agenda for this meeting, we don't have the flexibility to come in and add in a whole work session type of item under that published agenda, but I am putting something together
Okay.
so we can have a work session about that in April.
Great, thank you.
Okay, anything else? I guess we're adjourned.